Hey, I'm Dr. Pamela Moss, your soul guide and up-level alchemist. I'm the author of the #1 international bestseller, The Soul Guide to a Magical Life, and the creator of the Soul Alignment System for guaranteed transformation. For 15 years, I've been helping entrepreneurs around the world get out of their own way and align their minds with their goals so they can stop struggling and experience their next level of success and happiness and freedom. And I'm going to get you started today with the 3 secrets to align your mind with your goals. Here's why this is essential. As entrepreneurs, we need goals to keep ourselves focused and on purpose and motivated. But if your subconscious mind is not aligned with your goals, it will resist them. It will drain your energy, make you doubt yourself, and fill you with fear so you don't move forward. I want to give you a quick idea of what it's like when you're not aligned. This is a true story. So Judy, a business consultant, came to me in tears. She'd had no clients for 6 months. She's going deeper and deeper into debt. And she's told me that every day my brain repeats, money is running out, money is running out, money is running out. And no matter how cheerful I try to be, my desperation somehow affects the people that I talk to. And I'm working really, really hard, but getting nothing. So that's a good description of being not aligned. Not aligned means that we are resisting what we want. And the whole process of alignment is about removing all resistance. So stay tuned to the end of this video when I'm going to teach you the 5 R's to remove all resistance. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to walk you through the 3 secrets to align your mind with your goal so that your subconscious mind stops resisting and instead supports you to fulfill your goal with ease and joy. We want to begin with what you want. So what do you want? What is your goal? What goal do you want to work on in this video? So choose a goal that really matters to you, something that you struggle with now that will make a huge difference when it's true. Like this, put something important at stake so you can really get value out of the work we'll do today. But just pick a goal. That's the first step. So we're going to begin with secret #1, the clarity secret. So your brain is a goal achieving machine. Whatever you tell your subconscious mind to focus on, especially if you add some emotion to it, it will find evidence for what you asked for, that it's true. Whatever you seek, you shall find. The problem is we often are seeking evidence for what we don't want. Our worries, our doubts, our limiting beliefs. I'm not good enough. I'm not ready. It's really hard. Money is running out. This creates the worst case scenario. So how do you tell your subconscious mind to focus on the best case scenario for your goal so that it finds evidence for that and manifests that? Well, for starters, you have to make sure that your subconscious mind understands what your goal is. Many times our goals are just too vague or abstract or outside of our experience, and our subconscious mind doesn't know what we're talking about. So the clarity secret is you're going to translate your goal for your subconscious mind so it understands your best case scenario and can focus on that and manifest it. We're going to use a process that I call the 6 senses to clarity. And begin with what you will see when your goal is true. And I mean literally see, like a photograph or a video, or maybe a series of images like a slideshow. And this is something that you might see yourself doing when your goal is true. Might be something you see other people doing when your goal is true. Could be something you see around you in your environment when your goal is true. Or maybe it's something more symbolic or metaphoric that you'll see when your goal is true. Like you might see the clouds part and the sun come pouring in. So I want you to find 3 images of what you will see, what it looks like when your goal is true. Just let your intuition, your imagination give these images to you. If you need more time, just pause the video. Next is what will you hear when your goal is true? And by hear, I mean literally hear. Like it might be something you hear yourself say inside your head, like, Wow, that was so easy. Or it might be something you say out loud to somebody else or something somebody says to you. Could be sounds around you in your environment, like applause or beautiful music. Or it might be something that's more symbolic sound, like the sound of silence when your mind is quiet. Or maybe the sound of angels going, hallelujah, finally. Whatever it is, we want you to come up with 3 things that you will hear when your goal is true. When your goal is true, I mean, when the things you see and hear are true, how will you feel? What is the emotion of your goal being true? And it might at first be relief, and if it's relief, what comes after that? Is there joy, confidence, peace? What's present? Just take a moment to get clear about that. Allow that feeling, the emotions you've just identified to just bubble up inside you until they're really present. You can really feel that emotion. You may want to close down your eyes to do that. And just notice, where do you feel that in your body? And just notice if it had a temperature, would it be warm or cool or just neutral temperature? If it had a color, what color would this feeling have? And then if it had a shape, what shape would this feeling within you have? And would it be a flat shape like a drawing, or would it be a three-dimensional shape? And would it move or be still? Just really tune into what that feeling within you is like. And if you could reach out your hand and you could touch that feeling within you, what would it feel like to your fingers? And if it had a smell, this emotion that you're feeling within you, in your body, that has the colors and textures that it has, if it had a smell, what would it smell like? And if you could put everything that you would see and everything you would hear and the feeling and all the sensations within you and the smell, if you could put all of that into your mouth and you could taste it, what would it taste like? And just notice how you might feel differently now about your goal. It might be a more tangible feeling. It may be like you can literally feel it within you, with what it's like when it's true. Congratulations, you have just completed the first secret. You now have told your subconscious mind, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I want. That's the power of the clarity secret. So, our next secret is the permission secret. This is the big reason why most people struggle or fail to achieve their dreams because of self sabotage. And self sabotage literally means there are parts of your personality that are resisting you moving forward, even though your conscious mind really wants to. Why are they doing that? Because they're trying to keep you safe. And they often call themselves or think of themselves as your inner protectors. That your subconscious mind is responsible for 80 to 90% of what you do and what you don't do and how you do it. So that means you can have the best business strategies in the world, the most lofty and inspiring goals. But if your subconscious mind is not aligned with them, it will sabotage you before you even realize what is happening. This is also why mindset work so often does not stick or takes a lot of repetition and time before it finally sinks in. but you can create real, lasting breakthroughs in minutes. And I'm going to show you how to do that in just a second. When you actually listen to what you've been ignoring and have a conversation designed to get permission to move forward. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to do what I call written dialogues with the subconscious part of you that has the biggest concerns about your goal. It's going to be literally like writing lines of script in a play. So my example here, I wrote my name down, write your name down, and put colon after it. And then what you're going to write is literally what I wrote here. I want to speak to the part of me with the biggest concerns about my goal. Are you there? And then you can write part on the line underneath it and listen. Like, is there a response to are you there? Maybe there's an emotion that comes up. Maybe you hear words like I am, what do you want? Or maybe you feel a sensation in your body or energy moving, or just a sense that there's something there if you don't know what it is. Just write down whatever you get. And then you're going to get to know this part of you. And just using your imagination, intuition, just allow yourself to imagine responses to the questions. So you can ask, what should I call you? How do you help me? What's your job? Do you like your job? What are your goals? What are your needs? Just get to know this part of you. Ideally, you want to do this enough that you can get to understand this part really does want to help you, even if you don't like the way it's doing it. I'm going to go quickly through this, but you can pause the video if you need to. Then the next step of this process to get permission from deep inside you so you can fulfill your goals is to learn what the concerns are. What concerns does this part of you have about your goal? And you want to really get down into like what the worst case scenario would be so that you can see what this part needs from you so you don't go there. After you learn about all the concerns this part of you has, you want to negotiate. And the way that you negotiate is you ask this part of you, what do you need, part of me, to give me permission to fulfill my goal? What conditions would make it safer to pursue my goal? And when you have these conditions and you have real clarity about what needs to be in place for it to feel safer, it really does feel safer to move forward when you've gotten permission from this part of you. And in fact, you might even want to ask this part of you, what role would you like to play after I fulfill my goal? Sometimes I've had someone's inner critic become their greatest cheerleader, for example. Get to know what this part needs to let you really move forward. And you want to literally ask, do I have your permission to move forward, to fulfill my goal? And if you get a yes, hallelujah, you can really move forward and you'll feel a shift of energy within you as you realize you are no longer being blocked by this part of you. There might be other parts of you that have concerns too, but that's for another day. Then the last step for this written dialogue with the subconscious parts, if you got permission, fantastic. If there's any promises you made or agreements you made, write them down, put them where you're going to see them. You do not want to break your word to yourself. And thank your inner protector. Even if you didn't like what it said, even if you didn't get anything, just say thank you, inner protectors. And if you don't get permission, ask what you should do instead. So the third secret we're going to do is the secret which is called alignment. And this is how you identify what your system needs to fully align for your goal. So when you get permission from the inner protector and you get clarity about what your goal is, you can feel some shifts because you're removing some resistance. But there's almost always more than that to do. So the alignment secret will show you what else there is to do, because you need to know what the full menu is so you can truly align and be free to fulfill your goal with ease and joy. One of the gifts that I have for the people who are VIP members, we have the soul alignment assessment, which literally walks you through how to tap into your own deep knowing and to identify what your system needs for your goal to be true. And then I have for everybody my inner wisdom treasure chest, which includes the processes for the six senses to get deep clarity, and also the written dialogues with subconscious parts, as well as 11 other really powerful processes to create transformation and alignment. So remember that the business consultant Judy I told you about, this is what happened to her when we removed all of her resistance and aligned her subconscious mind with her goal. As she aligned internally, things began to change externally. And Judy wrote me, a woman who I talked to weeks ago just emailed me out of the blue and said, yes, I'm ready to pay you. And she just paid $15,000 in full. And then when Judy was done aligning for her goal not long afterwards, she wrote me a description of how she was feeling, which is a very good description of what it's like to be completely aligned, no more inner resistance. She said, my spirit has really started soaring. I feel like I'm surfing a wave of positive energy. Now, people I haven't heard from are getting in touch and saying yes, and everything is easier. I feel like myself again. And by the way, she said, I closed $30,000 more business today. That's what's possible when you really remove all your resistance and align for your goal. So the 5 R's to remove all resistance. So the first R is resolve. So resolve is when you just decide to move ahead, even though it's scary, even though it's hard, even though you're terrified. So I remember the first time I stood up to give a talk in public and I had a microphone. I remember my voice was shaking, my face was hot, and I was quite sure that I had a really red face. I was really embarrassed. But what I wanted to say was important. So I somehow got it out. And then I went to go sit down. My heart was pounding, and nobody was booing me or anything. In fact, they clapped and cheered. And I was amazed. I did not die. And because I pushed through all of my fear, I resolved to move forward. It got easier, and it eventually came to a place where instead of feeling all that anxiety as fear, I experienced it as energy of excitement. So that's what's possible when you use resolve. It's really hard, but it does work. The second R to remove your resistance is release. If you just take a deep breath in right now and breathe out through your mouth, you just release some tension in your system. The beautiful thing about release is we're all like any other mammal, we naturally know how to release. We yawn, we stretch, we can sigh, we can shake, we can growl. All animals know how to do this. As human beings, we can also have a good cry or a big belly laugh or get a massage. And all these are ways of releasing tension, in other words, resistance. And the great thing about release is it feels so much better right away. But you have to keep repeating releasing. You have to keep releasing and keep releasing and keep releasing because you're not getting down to the source of the tension or the resistance. And then for the next R is reframing. So reframing is when you get a new perspective that creates new openings for actions. Now it's usually hard to see how to reframe things for ourselves. So it's kind of in our blind spot, but it really is. So we often need somebody else to help us. But there is a way that I just showed you today how to tap into reframing, how to reframe your situation with your goal. And that's the six senses to clarity. So you can use that process to reframe whatever situation you're in and see what it's like when it's not stressful, for example. So that's that reframing is powerful because it really makes a much deeper change than releasing can do. Replacing. So replacing is when you replace old stories and stuck energy with higher truth and new energy. And this happens when you replace limiting programming at the level you created it. And it's a permanent shift. And you've just experienced a taste of that today with the written dialogue with the subconscious parts of you that were resisting, that had concerns about your goal. So that's you've gotten two tools now that are showing you different kinds of ways to remove all resistance. And then the final R is realizing. So realizing is the fastest path to your extraordinary growth is to think and act more as your higher self and less as your ego self, which means realizing in a moment by moment kind of way whether you are listening to your ego with its fears and its doubts and its judgments and superiorities and inferiorities and mental busyness, all that stuff, or to your higher self, which is aligned with your highest potential and your true nature, which is love. Realizing means choosing love over fear, responding instead of reacting. Self-mastery. This is how you awaken and realize your true self. So that was a super quick overview of the 5 R's to remove your resistance. Three secrets to align your mind with your goals. I have the two valuable gifts for you, my inner wisdom treasure chest, which has the two processes we did today in it, and for VIPs, my soul alignment assessment, which shows you how to tap into your own deep knowing and identify exactly what you need to fully align for your goal. It's been my joy to share these transformational tools and insights with you. May you remove all of your resistance and align for your goals so that you can succeed in making the difference that you are here for.